All right. Now, what was I talking about here? You said, how do you do a screen? Oops, I'll show you how to do a screen. Very, very easy. So let me draw a screen. I'm going with my pen tool right here, pen tool. And I really like sketching with, this should be about 0.5. It's 0.4. It should work nice. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to go a little bit thinner. Your resolution is probably a little low. Well, no, it's my resolution is low because I screen grabbed it. But let me choose a nice brush. For B for brush. Go in here, choose my default brush here. And 100% flow, 15%. I'm going to crank it up. All right, let's just and reduce the size of this guy to about 3 now. That looks like a nice size. Zoom in. Now let's do a screen. This is screen. Now this is how you label stuff. Let's just call it a touch screen. You have to label your stuff, otherwise you don't know. At first I thought this is a toaster. So you really need to label stuff. There's 2 reasons. One is the most obvious, to tell what the heck it is. The second one is it makes you look way smarter, because when you start filling a board up with text, it makes you look like you're thinking about things and you're cognizant of the viewer, and the viewer needs to understand what this is. So USB port, hub, what's it called? USB dongle or whatever. And then just go deeper. Let's just say, since it's so thick, it holds 5 terabytes, 5 TB storage. That justifies its fatness. So describe your stuff. It's important. Now let's get back to the screen, touch screen. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to draw a touch screen. And what I've just done here is I've taken this touch screen and blown it up. Touch screen. And then do cool arrows as well. Something I've seen this one dude just recently, he does arrows like this. But this makes your stuff look nice and designery and adds a flair. Everyone has their own unique way of doing things. Coffee maker. This is me. And I do a little thing in there. And then sometimes in here, I'll go red and I'll make a little red dot in there. That's me. But I just recently saw this dude do this. I'm going to go to black. Oh, he did like this. He went like this. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool, blah, 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 blah. So, each one has their own thing. In fact, he even went cooler. He went like this. Like this. Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he had this cool little kink. And so everyone has their own way of showing their product design. My perspective is off here. I'm going to fix that. And so this is me being self-critical, because let's just get in there. I'm going to get to that screen in a second, but I can hit a lot of birds with this. So I'm going to make a new I don't need swatches. I don't need libraries. I'm going to get rid of that. Just get rid of the stuff you don't need. Because I'm doing a perspective grid. I normally go on a separate layer because I can reduce that. But there, that's how the perspective should be. I'm going to reduce opacity on the perspective because I don't want that blaring. You don't want it too obnoxious. Back to my sketch. I'm going to erase out my mistake right here. I'm press E for eraser. And now I can put in the correct perspective. Oops. Okay, there. Now let's quickly fill this in with, well, all right, let's just, now, screens. Okay, I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to fill this with black. Now, there's 2 ways of doing it. The easiest way is using this tool here. This guy right here. Okay, Polygon Lasso tool. Now, this tool can be your best friend, but it can be a nightmare too. Now, this thing is how you render stuff up quick. But I'll tell you what the problem is with this. Here, let's just show you what it does, in case you don't know. It just creates a marquee. I'm going to make a new layer, always make a new layer. And now I can just fill this thing up with the paint bucket. Okay, simple. But I'll tell you why this guy is a nightmare. And you want to really not get in a habit of using this. You want to get in a habit of using the pen tool. Now I'll show you why. Now let's outline this with this tool. I mean, it's super, oh, sorry, excuse me, my bad. I forgot to change a tool. Okay, so I'm going to go around here. And so let's say it's a very complex shape. Okay, so here, let's just say it's way more complex than this. This is very easy, but let's say, okay. So let's say I mess up. It's really complex. What happens is sometimes it will just automatically close like that. I just press return, but what happens is sometimes it automatically closes. And I don't know why it triggers that. And then when it does this, you're just like, oh man, I just spent 5 minutes doing all of this really neatly. And then it closes. Well, there's a way to fix that. I'm going to show you. And here is the right here. We're still on the Marquee tool right here. Oh, let me turn on my cursor thing, by the way, so you can see my cursor. My bad. One sec. Because I paid for it. Let me turn it on.
How much was it?
I don't remember. It wasn't much, like $10. I think it's going to be under C, cursor. There we go. All right. Anyway, oh, okay. So anyway, I'm on this Marquee tool, and then you can add to it in case it closed up. There, add. I can add this part. I'm making this tool look really good, and it is really good. But I'll show you why it's not. Okay, so you can add or you can subtract. So all of this mistake right in here, click on this thing right here. And now I can go in here and actually follow that chord. There. So when you're using this Marquee tool, which is good, you have these options to add and subtract. Now, I don't like this tool because, let me deselect, because here the pen tool does exactly the same thing, but it's way more adaptable. So I'm just going to go around here and it does exactly the same thing, but it's editable. So let's say I go in here and make a little mistake there. And well, actually, it's not the mistake thing. Let's say I'm just doing this quick. What I can do now is just like I can really edit. I can take away this anchor point. I can take this anchor point, and I'm not going to get into paths heavily right now, but I do want to show you that this is a way better tool for outlining things. You can let's just take away some anchor points like this one, and you can use other tools like this convert anchor point, and so you can get real curves. Whereas this straight line thing right up here, you make curves by making so many little segments, and you slowly. So get into the habit of using the pen tool instead of this. When I want to highlight my path, and you can take this into Illustrator as well. So when I got that path, I want to highlight it. I go into paths, wherever my paths are. Oh, let's just dock that in there. Paths. I think it's going to be in here because it's not showing paths. There's my path dialog tool, and I'm going to just click this, and now it's all highlighted. So now, so I diverged. I purposely diverged I'm going to deselect, which is Control Command D. Now with this tool, I'm just going to go in here, fill this thing up with black. And paths, I click on my path. And now it's filled. I mean, no, now it's outlined. Layers, make a new layer and fill with black. Okay. Now I'm going to deselect. That takes away sometimes these are nicknamed marching ants because they look like ants marching in a row. So deselect. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And these were my reflection lines. And I'm going to erase out. So I'm going to press E for eraser, or I can go here. And I want a hard brush. And I'm going to erase out. And I'm just going to stroke it inside my lines. And there is a way. And you know, I'm going to do just another one here. And that is a screen. And let's do the next level, where we're going to add airbrush. I'm going to make a new layer. I always add layers because I could make a mistake. So let's do an airbrush. This first airbrush I'm going to demonstrate. I'm making it quite big. See how big? Not the green one, but the black. That's how big my brush is. So I'm going to go to the airbrush, brush tool, go down here. Oh, it's okay. Here we go. Brush, brush, brush. Big softy right here. Soft, round, soft, big softy. Not this hard one, but this one right here. Click on that. Go white and get a big airbrush. Now the secret to airbrushing is having a huge airbrush. I'm oh yeah, okay, no, I'm cool with that. It's too bright for me. There, and I'm gonna just, since I have it on a layer, it gives me a possibility to just reduce it. So just a little bit, just a little tiny bit of airbrush. Now here, same. And that's basically how you do a screen. And so let's turn off the airbrush. This is also cool, but this is how you do glass and a screen. We'll get into a lot more glass down the road. And let's go to the next level. Let's take it to the next level. And I don't want to boggle your mind or blow your mind, but let's go into the internet. Let's find what's that thing on the Mac called, that that strip of screen. It's called all right, let's just say touchscreen. Just randomly going to choose something off the internet, and hopefully touchscreen. I want a flat view. I'd like this, a flat view. Let's say flat view, touchscreen. No, screen. User interface. Let's say user interface. UI. Well, user interface screen. All right, this is cool. Let's use this. Flat. That's a really old school. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna screen shoot it. Oh, Control Command 4. Oh, there we go. I'm just sorry about this old school thing, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna screen shoot it. Okay. Back to here. I'm going to open it. Oh, there it is. You know what? This cursor thing is really confusing me. It's a big circle. So let's copy it. Copy. Paste. Control V. And okay. Rotate. Don't forget, rotate is R. Press R and there. Let's squeeze this into place. Okay, so let's zoom in. Oh, sorry. Let's once again, this, I forgot what the shortcut for this is. Move tool V. Okay, I'm just going to line up the corners. This corner here. and Control T, which is transform. And I think if you hold Command, you can just distort this. So I'm going to distort it, and I'm going to line up my two corners, this corner and this corner. By the way, I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to turn the opacity down because I need to see what's happening underneath. Okay, now back to this thing. Control T. I screwed it up. I'm going to have to undo. I'm going to have to undo until undo. I have to turn the screen down first because the bounding box changes when you transform. Control T, or you can go here, image, edit, transform. No, sorry, image, edit. I'm always using the free transform. That's it, free transform. Okay, now I'm going to go click Command or this. Okay, let's just, okay, Command and just move these into place. Put them into the corners. So there's my screen, touch screen. In perfect perspective, hit enter. And I'm going to crank it up a little bit. I'm going to crank it up. I'm going to crank it up 90%. This is not important right now, but what is important is I'm in my layers dialog box, and in here is a layers effects filter type thing. So as I scroll down, and I'm not touching anything, I'm just scrolling, and I can kind of find a layer effect that works. This kind of works. This kind of works. So I just choose the one that looks the best. This kind of I kind of like that, but let's just play around. And I guess the one that works best, let's just overlay. Let's just try overlay. And I'm going to choose there's this white reflection on the top, which is way too obnoxious. Okay, well, it's not doing anything. Okay, let's go to the black layer. And let's just turn this down a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm kind of getting up to 40, 50%. And that's kind of like a how to show the screen, reflecting and all of this stuff. I just want to try to find the white. Okay, well, okay, anyway, that's how you do a screen, by overlaying a screen on top. But get rid of that. If you are ever rendering flat, shiny stuff, that's how you do it. Use straight line reflections. All right, don't worry, I'll get back to homework, but I just wanted to do a few more things on here to show you a few more things. I'm making a brand new layer. I'm going black. I'm going 100% black, B for brush. Okay, in here. Oh, and I need to change my brush back to this hard brush. And now I'm going in here, and I'm gonna, the light is coming from, let's just say up here. Oops. So I'm gonna do, oh, let's crank, oh, this is an empty layer, I mean a layer. Let's do a new layer. Oh, why is it so light? Brush, 100%, oh, flow, 15%. Keeps doing that. There, sketch this out nicely. And then your shadow. And then since it's curved right around here. So I'm gonna curve my shadow. And now I'm going to just fill it in. New layer, pen tool. And I'm just gonna do multiple little things. I'm not going to do the whole pulling and all that stuff. And here's gonna be my shadow. I've got it highlighted with the pen tool. Now I'm going to go to the path thing, which is under here. Oh no, where is the path? I don't know. Path, I'm just gonna go up here. Let's find paths. Paths. There it is. I'm gonna click this little guy right here, this ants chasing each other. There it is. And now I can just make a new layer and fill with the paint bucket tool. Black. Deselect, turn this down a wee bit. There. And I'm going to turn it down even lighter. Well, actually, I'm going to turn it up. And remember, we want strong contrast. So I want this whole side here even darker. So new layer, back to the pen tool, and just go in here. If anyone has any questions, let me know. And I'm going to go back to my paths because I've closed it. Paths here, chasing ants. Oh wait, sorry, click on that. The chasing ants thing, the Marquee Tool. Back to layers, new layer. Everything's a new layer. Paint bucket or fill. Control D to deselect the ants. Let's reduce it so we have a nice contrast. Reduce a little bit more so you see some details, but still you want that contrast. There. Since the light's coming from over here, I'm gonna make a new layer. And another way to fill, instead of using all of those the pen tools, is just, and this is time consuming, but it's also very effective. Another way to fill things is stroke it, turn it down, E for eraser. I want a hard eraser. Make sure I'm on a hard eraser. Here we go. Take it down and just erase out like this. This is an easy way as well. So as I say, there's multiple ways to do things in Photoshop and Illustrator. So there. Okay. So there. That's a little bit of stuff. Quinlan, did you understand that? Or was it too much overload?
Yeah, no, I definitely followed. The LCD stuff was really sweet. And then I was definitely wondering how to get that shadow better. Yeah, no, it's super helpful. Thank you.
Let me just tell you the concept. I'm going to stop the recording in a second, but let me just tell you the concept behind lighter here, darker here. It's because this surface right here, the light is hitting it, and it's a shadow on this surface. So it's not going to be as dark as this one because this is really the opposite of the light. The light is here on this side, and then the shadow, the darkest shadow is on this side. So that's why we have different levels of light. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording for that little demo. Board. Okay, doing lines. Okay, here we go. Maximize my screen. Brush. You got the right brush. It looks like you got the right brush width. Here we go. That's it. And opacity, I'm going to crank it up to full blast. Test. It's too heavy. I like about a 5. Generally speaking, I like 5 points or pixels. I honestly don't know. This is pretty much okay. So new layer, always a new layer. So if you're a chicken scratcher, you can chicken scratch away. Like, all right, let's just do the shape. Like you can do that. You know, that's cool. But that looks like a nice foot. You can chicken scratch away. Okay. Well, God, now I'm getting so. But if you do that, chicken scratch away. Let's just do a little bit more. Chords. Oh God. Let's go. Okay, chicken scratch away. Oh, and you're gonna have the bottom earbud part. All right. If you do that, fine. Do it if that's what it takes to get the drawing done. But reduce it in the end and make a new layer and get in there. Rotate your screen to make it more comfortable first. and then do these strokes there. This reminding me of a waist of a woman or of a person or a Coke bottle, and then try to just stroke it. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you're a little bit out of the lines. Let's try it. And you just have to get that into position. Oh. For your ellipses, you definitely need, I'm not doing anything. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I'm not touching my keyboard at all. B, oh, I get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. One more attempt, and then I'm giving up. All right, I'm kind of cool with that. Let's just do another one inside, and then let's do these ones in here. Oops, down below. I'm gonna make a new layer because this is going underneath. Oh, shit. B for brush. Move that up here. That's okay-ish. One more attempt. That looks good. And the other one's gonna be difficult. No, that's okay. As long as it looks loose, that's cool. And just practice that stuff. That's my central access to make sure all of my ellipses are correct. Now I can go in there. Oop. Now I can go in there and put in details. Because this is just a quick rough, and then, oh shoot, leave a brush. There. So let's get rid of that under sketch. That's my line work. Now let's put in some contour curves. Tucks in here. Let's just say it does that. And so just by adding contour curves, you can build it up so it's kind of readable. So there, this I'm going to keep adding. Okay, rotate around. And yeah, the lines are all weird and wonky, but it doesn't matter because I can fill it with other garbage. Let's just go around here. Now I'm going to go slow. I'm going to start putting in some darker lines around here. But what my point is do solid lines, don't do the scratchy stuff. And if you have real trouble with that, there's this other tool right in here underneath. Oh, let's move this out of the way. There's this tool called smoothing right in here. If you have trouble doing these type of lines, go to smoothing right here. So I'm in my brush right here, my brush mode. Brush is here, my brush controls here, my basic controls are here, but right over here smoothing. And you want to get some smoothing in there, crank it up a little bit, and it's slow, but it works. And then I'm letting off pressure as I go. This is going to be the shadow. That's how you get the smooth lines. Oh, let's see what I'm doing here. And I think I'm going to just fill this guy in here. The tolerance, let's decrease the tolerance. I forgot how to do this because I normally, I forgot how to do this. Let's say 100. Forget it. I'm just going to fill it in manually because, oh, and don't forget to turn smoothing off because it's way too slow. Now I can go fast. Just color block that in. A black cavity. Who knows what's happening in there? I don't. And let's start doing some color blocks. Increase the size, and I'm going to be quick. But basically, what I'm trying to say, Bella, is just come up with better strokes. And it just takes a little practice, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think I had smoothing on either, so that's probably.
Yeah, that would help. Okay, and now I'm just gonna do a quick, let's just do a quick one in here. And I'll just do a quick airbrush job. And just do that first, and just a quick airbrush, and then I'm moving on. New layer, always do a new layer. I got black, and what am I doing? Oh, airbrush, sorry. Oh, this has got a gray background. So I can add white, but there. Here. Erase out, turning my pen around, or press R for erase. I don't care that I'm staying in the lines. Now, this is what my point is actually, Bella. Don't be so stiff, you know, because I noticed here, look, you don't have any lines flowing off. If anything, do stuff like this. If you're chicken scratching and stuff, do stuff like this. At least flow them off. Maybe you got this axis line, pop it all the way through. Do these strokes like
Okay.
here. Oh. Pop them off like that. Maybe, and just do a little fakey, do a little fake circle. You know, here, do another little fake circle. Make it look like you're being fresh and fast. And finally, I forgot you have a, let's go white. And I've got an airbrush here, I think. Last, and erase. And a new layer. Let's just do a little blast right up here. That's good enough for me. And then maybe one down here. And erase out. So I'm even going to keep that. Here, I'm going to erase out. And it looks a little obnoxious, so I'm going to turn it down a wee bit on here, and turn on the base speed like this, so it's not so obnoxious. So, Bella, is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, ma'am. Let's move on to the next. I'll stop this recording.